This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. His tours of duty included combat operations in Grenada, Somalia, and Bosnia. He served 20 years on active duty in the United States Air Force. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Buzz Patterson was the senior military aide to President Bill Clinton. And now he's written a book about the Obama administration entitled Conduct Unbecoming, and he joins us by phone. Welcome, Colonel.
Ashley, my pleasure. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you. Let's start with the subtitle of the book, How Barack Obama is Destroying the Military and Endangering Our Security. As a veteran of the military, please outline briefly for us how Obama's doing that.
Well, he's doing it through several ways, Ashley. Number one, he's trying to change the military culture. The perfect example is this week, as a matter of fact, they're trying to push through the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, which prohibits open homosexuality in the uniformed services. He's also included in that bill the DREAM Act, which will make illegal aliens serving in the military eligible for citizenship. So he's trying to remake the military culture, much in his own image, much in the image of the radicals he associates himself with.
That's being held up for the moment anyway, that DREAM Act.
For the moment it is. I have no doubt that it will go through eventually. I'm very fearful of that. I think the fallout and the repercussions of that are going to be wide and large. I think you're going to see a lot of really good, talented people leave the military. In fact, one of the surveys I quote in my book concludes that up to 25% of our uniformed service members may leave if this act is repealed.
You also mentioned that Evans' Code Pink entourage received letters of support and diplomatic courtesy from Senator Barbara Boxer and fellow California Democrat Representative Henry Waxman, among others.
That's exactly right, and hopefully that information will be used in the Carly Fiorina campaign out here against Barbara Boxer. Barbara Boxer did sign that letter, as did Henry Waxman, that allowed Jody Evans and her entourage to get into Jordan and through Jordan into Iraq to deliver that money and material support to the insurgents that were killing Americans.
Most remember that as one of his first acts as president, Obama announced he would close the detention facility at Guantanamo Bay within a year, and he wanted suspected terrorists tried not by military tribunals, but in civilian courts. Colonel, what kind of damage did that cause right out of the gate, do you think?
Well, the fact that we have reverted back, Ashley, to a 1990s mindset where we're going to fight this war on terror as a law enforcement issue, which is where Bill Clinton tried to and failed in the 1990s. Barack Obama is going back down that path again. Fortunately, he has not been successful yet in closing Guantanamo, but what he has done through Eric Holder, the Attorney General, is now that when we capture high-value detainees around the world or in the battlefields of Afghanistan, we have to read them the Miranda rights and provide them counsel. That's the point we've gotten to in this politically correct approach to fighting this global ideological evil, that we are now Mirandizing terrorists and providing them counsel.
Please talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, in Conduct Unbecoming, I talk about the rules of engagement, and for your viewers, actually, the rules of engagement are those rules by which our men and women in uniform must comply in combat. Well, they've been changed and so watered down by Barack Obama that, for example, we have Marines patrolling the very dangerous parts of Afghanistan without bullets in their guns. We have U.S. Air Force jets patrolling the skies at night with infrared technology, very advanced infrared technology, that even when they can locate and pinpoint a Taliban stronghold or a Al-Qaeda stronghold, are not allowed to shoot for fear they might hurt innocent civilians. And again, that's the correctly wrong approach, the backward approach to winning this war on terror, and that's all been driven from top down through Obama for a while, through General McChrystal, but now through General Petraeus.
Buzz, you mentioned during a radio interview that there's no real intent to win the war in Afghanistan. Now, if true, that would seem to put it in the same category as Vietnam. How do you see it?
I believe there is no intent. In fact, President Obama won't even use the word victory. He talks about objectives, but he doesn't talk about us ever achieving success and achieving victory in Afghanistan and elsewhere. And again, the man can't even utter the fact that we're fighting against radical fundamentalist Islam. He cannot even identify the enemy. And my question is, and I ask this question in the book as well: how do you defeat an enemy if you can't identify him? If you're unwilling to identify who it actually is? I think Barack Obama is trying to kick the can in Afghanistan just long enough. He tried to show his bona fides in the election versus Hillary Clinton for getting the nomination by showing he was strong in national defense and national security by talking about how important Afghanistan was. Once elected, he has not shown any intent to win the war in Afghanistan. In fact, for the first year of the fight, President Obama met with General McChrystal only one time in person. That just shows you the guy's got no intent to win, and it is going to become another Vietnam if we're not careful.
Okay, you mentioned the rules of limited engagement and the fact that the morale among our troops there might be affected as well as their safety. Can you talk about morale? What have you heard about it?
Yes, I've got friends and peers that are still serving in uniform. In fact, one of my best friends is currently serving, as we speak, in Afghanistan for his fourth time. And the morale is not doing well. They understand quite clearly that their commander-in-chief is not looking out for their best welfare, that their commander-in-chief is not dedicated to winning the war in Afghanistan, that their commander-in-chief is not giving them the tools necessary to win the war in Afghanistan, and the morale is suffering. I mean, there's one Marine unit that has a big sign on their dining hall that says, "Death by stand-down," meaning they're being killed by Taliban insurgents because they're not allowed to shoot back. And in a very austere environment like Afghanistan, you just simply cannot have that sort of morale issues or lack of motivation. The guys in uniform have absolutely no faith right now in Barack Obama.
Democrats fail for now with their attempt to attach a repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell to the defense spending bill we were talking about a while back, but the issue is sure to come up again. Now, from your perspective, is allowing gays to serve openly in the military a problem, and if so, why? It
most definitely is a problem. You're going to try to socially engineer the military culture at a time that we're fighting a war. The real problem is going to be the fact that the military has not been asked to give their opinions on this subject. It's been forced top down, much as the health care bill was passed top down without much debate and discussion. What you're going to have is cultural issues in open bay barracks where Marines live and Army soldiers live. You're going to have cultural issues and sexual harassment issues in submarines that are submerged below the surface of the seas for months on end. You're going to have a lot of folks, quite frankly, who will leave the service. They'll vote with their feet by actually leaving, resigning, because they won't want to put up with all the issues and the problems. And again, Ashley, I asked the question, do we really want to go through all this right now? Do we really want to crack the military culture at a time when we're fighting two very important and hot wars over the Middle East?
Again, the name of the book, Conduct Unbecoming, How Barack Obama is Destroying the Military and Endangering Our Security. It's a great read, available at Amazon.com and elsewhere. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Buzz Patterson, thanks so much and good luck with that book.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.